and welcome back to Hill and Ponton's YouTube channel. I'm attorney Rachel Cheek. Today, we're going to be covering one of the hot topic items off the extensive PACT Act of 2022, the Camp Lejeune water contamination lawsuits that are starting to pop up. You may have already started seeing Camp Lejeune lawsuit advertisements online and on TV commercials. I know I see about 3 during Jeopardy every night. But for those who aren't necessarily aware of what happened, I wanted to give a brief overview of Camp Lejeune and clarify some questions that we've been getting here. First off, Camp Lejeune is a Marine base in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's a very popular training spot for Marines thanks to the 14 miles of available beach, which made it an ideal area for amphibious assault training. Pretty useful for Marines, right? It's also near a couple of deep water ports, which would allow for speedy deployments that added to the desirability of the location as a Marine training spot. Unfortunately, this base was also a hotspot for unlawful disposal of chemicals and runoff. As a result, from 1953 to 1987, there was a rampant issue with harmful chemicals seeping into the groundwater. And at one point, it was reported that the contaminants in the water exceeded safety standards by about 3,000 times the recommended amount. And so keep in mind, this stuff that we're about to talk about is in the groundwater. So that you're showering, you're cooking, you're bathing in it, you're drinking it. Just keep that in mind as we go through these chemicals that were found. Some of the carcinogenic chemicals found include benzene, trichloroethylene, or also known as TCE, tetrachloroethylene, perchloroethylene, or PCE, and vinyl chloride, also called VC. These chemicals are primarily used as solvents, so they're used to dissolve other substances. They're used in industrial cleaning, degreaser products, and more. And like I said, I'm sure you can imagine how drinking water, showering with water, and cooking with water contaminated with degreaser is not going to be a good thing for the human body. So over time, we've discovered that there are tons of cancers and serious illnesses linked to Camp Lejeune. Some of these cancers include cancers of the bladder, brain, breast, cervix, esophagus, kidney, ovaries, prostate, rectum, liver, lung, and other types of cancers like Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, leukemia, and multiple myeloma. Other serious illnesses that have been found to be caused by the contaminants in the drinking water at Camp Lejeune include cardiac defects, epilepsy, seizures, fatty liver disease, myelodysplastic syndrome, which is a blood disorder that can advance and turn into leukemia, female infertility or miscarriages, immune disorders, kidney damage and renal toxicity, nerve damage, neurobehavioral effects, which we have a new article on that you can check out up here in our video cards, Parkinson's disease, and scleroderma. So for many years, veterans have been able to file VA disability claims based on this exposure, but that conveniently left out civilians who are also living on base. So now, in addition to the veterans, the new PACT Act includes family members, nearby workers, and more in the class of people who the government now acknowledges were exposed to the contaminated groundwater. The new PACT Act essentially opens the door for justice and financial relief for those civilians who are now able to sue the government. So it's impossible before. So this is huge news. With hundreds of thousands of victims having lived on or near Camp Lejeune, this is an enormous deal. Now, could it have been more? Yeah. Back in 2017, the CDC reported even more diseases and rare cancers that could be linked to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune. And those may or may not eventually be added to the list of conditions that I mentioned above. But the addition of the conditions that I mentioned above is a pretty big win. So we'll take what we can get for now, right? So with that backstory, let's go ahead and jump to what happens now. And I'll address some of the questions that we've been getting from veterans watching. For starters, people have been asking us when they can file. Now, do it now. The statute of limitations is 2 years to file your Camp Lejeune lawsuit from the time that the PACT Act was signed. So that's August 10th, 2022, going all the way to August 10th, 2024. Try to go ahead and get your claim in now before the backlog gets too big. We've all seen how the VA can get backed up with claims, even when maybe their intentions are the best. Another question we get often is, can you file both a VA service-connected disability claim for Camp Lejeune and file a lawsuit due to Camp Lejeune damages? The answer to that is yes, but there will be an offset. And that basically means VA is going to look at maybe what you would be awarded from each action, and they're going to keep some of that money. Basically, it's hard enough to get the VA to pay for something once. They're definitely not going to do it twice. So what is included in this bill? The big item here is suing the government for damages from the contaminated water. So these damages can include medical expenses, medications, lost wages, etc. And obviously a really big question that we're getting is how much money are these settlements awarding? So because this is still pretty new and groundbreaking, we don't know exactly yet, but experts have been estimating that anywhere from $2 to $6 billion in settlement payouts may go to veterans and family members. Now keep in mind that's a total estimate. Individual awards are going to vary on the particular circumstances and conditions. So the last question that we've been getting a lot is how to join the Camp Lejeune class action lawsuit. Since the law was only signed in the past couple of weeks, there's no class action suit yet. The commercials that you may have seen, and I've definitely seen, are talking about class action suits that are yet to be filed, but thousands of veterans are filing their own lawsuits independently. So a class action lawsuit is when a class of people or category, in this case, civilians and veterans who are exposed to the contaminated groundwater in Camp Lejeune, when they all join as a class, and basically all are a part of one single suit. So in addition to doing that, veterans are instead filing their own lawsuits independently. And those, knowing the VA, they're not going to move quick, but they are going to move more quickly than a class action suit that may have thousands of members. So just keep that in mind. And leading to my last point, we at Hill & Ponton can help you get started. We've represented thousands of veterans for disability compensation, and now we're going to continue the fight by assisting veterans and civilians with the separate lawsuits. So that's all we have for today. If you have any other questions on Camp Lejeune or any other aspect of the PACT Act, let us know in the comments. We may not be able to reply to everyone, but we do try to keep an eye out and respond to the questions that we can. Also, the PACT Act is huge, so please stay tuned to our channel because we're going to be doing specialized videos about specific aspects of the Act that's going to affect many of the veterans that we represent. And that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to leave a like and share with your loved ones if this video helped you. Until next time, goodbye.
Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos on VA disability benefits.